What's the Red Step Up?
Oh, it's an initiative. It's a mentorship initiative for young girls. So I had done the first ever was in April. So I was ambitious in how it would look and the experience that I'd give the girls that would come to be mentored. And so I wanted to make it affordable enough for all my nieces to be able to come. And so I subsidized the cost. What I didn't factor, I subsidized the cost and I said, you know what? I was going to be able to cover an extra, I was going to take something off the cost from our joint money savings. And I had a conversation with him and he's like, Sawa, we can sponsor art. The art section of the Red Step Up would be the Mwaura sponsored. And we did that, but I didn't factor in that food was going to cost higher. And so this day of, I am doing my math, it is not mathing. It's not adding up kabisa. I ended up overspending from my allowance, 15,000 shillings. And even though I was feeling guilt and shame, I just still went back and said, you know what, babe, this is what happened. I wanted to really give them an experience. I did give them an experience. We are short by 15,000 shillings. And he's like, okay, so what happened? And I explained what happened. It's like, oh, wow, okay. So we have lessons that we've learned there. Like, yeah. So what we're going to do, we're going to come together and fill that gap. And that's what we did. We came together, sourced funds, and filled that gap. And today it will be me, tomorrow it will be him. He will go meet a friend. He's like, okay, I was planning to spend 5,000. I spent 10. Because that's who it's human. They will be like, babe, this month I overspent by 5,000. What are we going to do? Okay, so what we had planned next month, we can cut back on something there to compensate for that 5,000. We've had those kinds of conversations and they are always ongoing. It's not once or twice that we've had that kind of conversation.
Yeah. The accountability is a big part of this, because you see, like what she's just described, just knowing that you will need to be accountable to someone, not out of fear, but out of trust, respect, responsibility, right? It really makes you make better decisions, right? At the point, remember what I said at the beginning, that moment of truth where you have to make that expense, if you do not have some sort of framework that guides the decision you're making in that point, if it just comes down to you and your limitations, then you're bound, because we're limited human beings, you're bound to make those mistakes. But to be honest, and I joke to her all the time, I'm like, the other day when I was about to spend this money, I just heard your voice. Babe, are you sure we should have? I could hear the voice. And it's the voice of someone I love, someone I respect, someone who I know we are building a great life with. And so that voice helps me stay on the lane. Because come end of the quarter, I'm going to have to sit in a room and Sheba is going to be like, so tell me about this line. And I'll be like, so what happened was, nobody wants to be doing that every quarter. So I really love that accountability, because it's made us better.
It's in the benefits that we've experienced, to be honest, with that kind of accountability. We're doing so much more with one income. Like I'd said earlier, when we came to see you, we were a 2-income household and making X amount of money. Then along the way, I left employment to rest, to recharge, to rediscover myself. That was only possible because of that conversation that we started that time. And we went from 2-income household to 1-income households. We've been able to do so much more than what we were doing before.
What is this?
There's so much more. I'm able, for example, myself, I'm able to really discover who I am. I've gotten into the creative space that I had ignored for so many years because I know I have support. And he usually tells me, babe, do it, because you're not a spendthrift, you're not a steward of our finances. And it doesn't make me feel any smaller just because I am no longer in employment, that I am in business, I am in the creative space, that I'm in the mentorship space. Doesn't make me feel smaller because there's no monthly paycheck that comes. It has allowed us to explore our dreams, but also to just be innovative around money. Like I said, our quality of life really took another level, because even when we were not homeowners, we were able to remodel our house, and it gave us so much joy. And everybody used to come and is like, how is it that when you're one income household, is when you're doing renovations in your house, your income hasn't changed? In fact, it has gone lower, but you're also able to just live quality life, because we are able to just pick out what's important for us, what's not. And it made him really innovative, because from that time, there's been income increase over the years. And it's because we've been able to sit down and like, okay, what are the other opportunities that we can see to increase on this pool? So we are finding that our quality of life is so much better. We ditched a car and have not bought a car since then, because we came into agreement that at this point of our lives, that's not a priority.
You took your kids out of school.
Yes. During that time, we gave our children a term break, because we looked at our finances and they were not accommodative of our kids being in school for that one term. We had started a home project at that point as well. I was still rediscovering who I was. So yeah, we ditched a car and were able to look at ourselves and say, this is what we can manage. To date, our children said that was the best term gap they had, because even then, we were able to immerse them in the arts, we were able to immerse them in swimming, we were able to immerse books and coding. They did so much more then. And when we had rearranged ourselves financially, we picked up and we continue.
Schools will always be there.
Yes.
Schools will always be there. It also helped. And see, that's the problem. Some of these intangible benefits of going through this, sometimes you don't fully appreciate it, because we were, during that period, is when we also discovered a different schooling system for the kids, right? And in the process of exploring that option is when that thought of, actually, we could give them a gap term, then transition, so that then they're not coming from CBC to ACE like this. And you can see the ripple effect of you're conversing on the money side, and then it's influencing life decisions,